Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I got Scarlet with me today. She's got on a really cute bandana I made. I made her one, Lucky one, and Phoebe one. You got a new bandana that Mama made you, don't you, baby? So anyway, story time. I wanted to elaborate on a few of the things that I mentioned in the past videos about VSG. So I had VSG surgery in 2017, and just to let you know, I at one point was over 400 pounds probably. I got really big. It didn't happen overnight. It happened over a period of, 15 years. So the reason I gained so much weight, not really, it was accumulation of different things. I did have a child that was born in 1983. Let me just adjust this camera just a little bit. Yeah, in 1983, and she passed away at 6 weeks, and it was crib death. And that was a really hard thing for me. It's kind of another story, but I think that's what started my weight gain. I wasn't really overweight at that time. I probably weighed about $120, $125, and I am 4'11 and a half. So anyway, so yeah, I gained, like, probably after that first year, I went from like a size 7 to a 16 in a year. I remember that much. And it was hard. I will say that. It was very hard because I was very young, and body image and stuff like that. That's hard when you all of a sudden you've gained, and you don't, it's like you just wake up one day and it's there. You don't see it happen. It's like just getting hit by a bus. You just don't see it coming. So yeah. So anyway, fast forward to the future. So after probably, I'd say 4 to 5 years of anxiety, and I did start working third shift, which third shift can be it can be hard for a diet too, because you tend to want to eat during the shift. I was a nursing assistant, snack, eat weird hours, and then come home and sleep, and then get up and do it all again. So I gained, I roughly, like, as far as I can tell, I gained probably 20 pounds a year for the next 20 years. I mean, it was like I threw a couple 100 pounds on for sure, like maybe 250 pounds to be exact. That was really hard. And it was like I couldn't stop it. I tried diets. I tried like literally exercise. I was active. I was one of the most, active fat people, for lack of a better term. I used to say I am a very high functioning fat chick. I mean, because I had, I had another child. I had one son when the baby died. Now he was 15 months. So I had another child after that. So I had 2 sons. So I'm raising these sons, and yeah, you got to stay active with kids and take them places. And we would, do things, a lot of physical stuff, but the weight just kept coming on. So, by the time I was in my late 40s, I had juvenile arthritis. So when I was 3, I had to have casts put on my legs because I was born in the 60s, and they really didn't know what else to do, but my legs were crippling is what they thought. Yeah, so I had a lot of pain. I mean, I wouldn't take pain medicine. I would just deal with the pain all the time. So in dealing with the pain constantly, it made me a person that was, I mean, I was strong emotionally and mentally because of losing the baby. It made me strong. You know, if anything happened that was bad, if it wasn't as bad as, you know, burying a child, I could get through it. But the physical part was just out of control. I was in so much pain all the time. That I remember it got to the point where I was just sitting out a lot, you know. I would show up at events and I was just a spectator instead of a participant. I didn't fit in chairs. I loved amusement parks with the kids and stuff like that. And it got to the point where I couldn't fit on roller coasters. There was just a few, you know, little things that I could still fit on at our amusement park here in where I live. We have a place called Kings Island, and I remember the Viking ship. It's a big ship, and it was one of those seats, like it was a big, long, like bench style seating. I could still fit on that, but I came to the park one day, and they couldn't get the bar to lock down on top of me. And I had to get off, and I cried. I cried so hard. I couldn't believe it. So, along with the fact that, you know, I always kept a job. I always worked. I remember one evening, after sitting at my desk, I was doing registration by this point because nursing assistant I did for about 27, 30 years. I don't know, about 30 years, and I couldn't do it anymore. So I started doing registration, and I remember sitting in the chair, and I couldn't hardly stand up to walk out. And the cleaning crew was there, and they offered to put me in a wheelchair to push me out. And I gotta tell you, that was one of the saddest days, and one of the biggest times of realization that shit got out of hand. Things have gone too far. When you can't walk and you're always in pain, you can't fit, you know, I would always scope out a room to find the biggest chair. It's exhausting being fat. It's exhausting finding clothes. It's just, I wouldn't wish obesity on my worst enemy, but I definitely was. I had become a food addict. I had become dependent on food for my emotional needs. So I had, I had literally ate myself into a situation that I really didn't know how I was going to get out of it, because at this point I was too big to exercise. And you have to eat every day. You know, it's not like a drug addiction where you don't have to do drugs every day. You can maybe take yourself out of the situation or stay away from, you know, a certain crowd or whatever. But with food, every day you have to go to the refrigerator and get food. And yeah, that's a hard thing. Excuse me. So when I finally decided this is enough, if I don't do something, I'm not going to get to see the next chapter of my kids' lives and the grandchildren. So I started, you know, I had lost weight before, 70 pounds, 40 pounds, 30 pounds. You know, I had done Atkins, Weight Watchers. I could just name them all, just say them all, and I tried them all. Anything that came out on the market, you know. I didn't do OptiFast, but I did something similar. And yeah, it got to the point where I was really good. I mean, fat people know how to lose weight. They just don't know how to keep it off. So I started a journey again, and I did get some of my weight off, maybe, 25 or 30 pounds. So I was down to 369 pounds. Not really sure what I weighed before that, because most household scales don't go higher than 350. So when I went to a seminar for a healthy weight management solutions, a local health entity here where I live, I took the seminar. I found out what the options were, like bypass or, sleeve and different things. How are we doing, Scarlet? Say hi. Say, I'm a little vlog dog. That's a little vlog dog. Yeah. She's my shadow. She's comfortable just to sit here with me. But yeah, so when I went to the seminar and I found out what my options were, I was scared. I'm not going to lie, because they had non-surgical options, but I thought, I'm probably going to benefit the most, because at this point I was 50 or 51, something like that. So I knew that I needed like as much help as I could get to get this weight off once and for all. So my insurance would cover it, but I had to do 6 months in the program. Talking to a nutritionist, I had to have a psychiatric evaluation and stuff like that. And I passed all that. I did learn a lot from the nutritionist. And while I was, going through the 6 months, I lost more weight. I got down to 301 before my surgery date. So I did real good. Then I had my surgery November the 27th of 2017. And I got to tell you, I had never even been put to sleep. I'd never had a surgery or broke a bone, or I'm not even sure. I may have had stitches, I had babies, but other than that, I had had no type of surgical procedures. So I was nervous. I was scared. I had my whole family involved, but I did pretty good. And then within the first month, I was down to 283. I remember my first visit, my first 3-week checkup or whatever it was. They put me on the scale and I stepped off of it because I couldn't believe what my eyes saw. I was like, no, that's not possible. And then I did it again. I got on the scale and I was like, that's what, and I just started bawling because I hadn't been under 300 in so long. I didn't think it was possible. So yeah, I know quite a bit about the whole process now. I did follow a few people on YouTube, and they were my inspiration. I watched Clusie and Experience in Nirvana, which I know she's been through quite a lot with her weight loss, but she gave me a lot of inspiration. So I watched them for a couple years before I even decided to go to the seminar and look at that option. But I am now currently, I actually got down to, let me back up a little bit. I got down to 194 pounds, and I was doing great. I was on task, and I wasn't trying to set any certain goal, because my doctor didn't operate like that. They were just like, just chomp it off a little bit at a time, and I was looking at maybe landing around 160, 150 even wouldn't have been too bad for me. But as short as I am, even if I got down to 115, I would still be, just right. I think 130 is like my highest that I should be. But yeah, so then just about the time, I guess I was a couple years out, so it was about 2019, that's when everything went to hell. It's the only way I can put it. I started experiencing some really weird menstrual symptoms, like bleeding too much and bleeding for too long, and my doctor was worried about my iron. And when I went to the gynecologist, they did a test, and I was at work. I'll never forget that day. It was July the 1st, 2019. And my gynecologist called, and she said, Carol, your test is back, and there was some cancer cells in your, in the scraping or whatever they did for in the lining of my uterus. And I was on my lunch break, and I remember just kind of going back from lunch and just sit down at my desk and just kind of went on with my day. And like, I was visibly shaken, and some coworkers, said, Carol, what's wrong? And I said, I have cancer, and then everybody was like, what? I was just, I was in shock. And yeah, so that's kind of where that landed. And the next couple weeks was just like, it's hard to even tell you dates or anything. It was oncology appointment, a hysterectomy, and then chemo started, 6 chemos, and then I did 25 radiations. And I didn't have time to be angry or sad or anything. I just went into straight fight mode. And I'm sure any one of you who are listening to this that's ever battled cancer, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It wasn't until after I had everything done and I rang that bell and, I was done with the chemo and stuff that, yeah, I had to see a therapist. I mean, I was in, it was hard. But yeah, that's some of my story. So that's, I just wanted to elaborate about the VSG, and I'll get into some more of the other things too. But so I just want to say, thanks for watching my video. And Scarlet, hey, say bye-bye. She don't understand this. You're looking at me. I'm looking at you. Yeah, so you guys have a good evening and stay fabulous. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll have more story times too.